Yeah,
It's kind of windy out there. We love our Tuesdays because we get to chat with Father Matt Frisbee, get a sports roundup from the sports expert in a collar.
And you know what they say about Father Matt Frisbee? They say when Father Matt talks, everybody listens. Good morning, Father Matt Frisbee.
Good morning, Dave and Ron and all our listeners. And you are right. I was talking to people last night, some friends of mine, who didn't know I was on the air. And they said, we'll be listening this morning.
Oh,
so,
good morning
right.
to those friends of yours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, you know, the big talk, of course, in the world of sports is the NFL draft, which occurred this past weekend, beginning on Thursday. Cam Ward, out of the University of Miami, taken number 1 overall by the Tennessee Titans. And then the Browns were slated to have the 2nd overall pick. Many people thought they'd take Travis Hunter, two-way player, Heisman Trophy winner out of Colorado. And instead, the Browns traded down and took Mason Graham from the team up north, defensive tackle, very highly rated. But they picked up some draft picks, including a second-round pick, which they used to take Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State, got a first-round pick for next year, too. But the big thing for the Browns, I thought it was a great draft, their first 4 picks.
Yeah.
Mason Graham, I thought, was a great pick. The linebacker out of UCLA, long last name, I can't say it right now. But he, at first, I was a little puzzled by it, but reading into some things, I think looks like a pretty good draft pick. Judkins, of course, great pick.
Yeah.
And the tight end from Bowling Green State University also looked like a great pick. Harold Fannin Jr., I think it is. But then they took Dylan Gabriel in the late 3rd round, and that made no sense to me. And then to make matters worse, they did what we all feared. They took Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, which I would say if they had not taken Dylan Gabriel,
Right.
I wouldn't have nearly as much of a problem with that pick of Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. But they did take Dylan Gabriel. So now they have 5 quarterbacks on the roster: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So, but the big talk of the draft, really, I mean, we could talk Browns, but the big talk really was the fact that Shedeur Sanders, who was expected to be a top 5, top 10, definitely first-round pick, dropped all the way down to the 5th round.
And that didn't make sense to me, Father, but I was looking at something, and that makes more sense to me now. Shedeur is actually of the German language, Germanic, and it's from where it comes from. And you know what it means in the Germanic language? Slide. It means slide.
Now, Dave, I just heard you talking about Chicago being the windy city, so I don't know if you're making this up.
I'm making that up.
Or,
I'm making that up.
I figured as much. Yeah, it's so a lot of people surmising why this was the case. Was it that he's just not that good? Possibly. Was it that they don't want to deal with his dad, Deion Sanders? Also possible. Was it also, and really kind of related to that point, would be just his general attitude. You know, it sounded like his interviews with some teams did not go well, and that there was just a great arrogance about him. And so who knows? I was talking to a friend of mine Sunday night who said there was a video of Shedeur and Cam Ward talking. And Shedeur asked Cam Ward if he would be interested in making recording a song with him. And Cam Ward, and this is why he was the first overall pick, said, "I'm not interested in that. I'm just interested in playing football."
Amen.
But Shedeur was interested in recording music, which would make you wonder, what are his interests? Is it playing football, or is it more so publicity and attention?
Well, they could
But
always.
of course, the Browns, being the Browns, drafted him.
Yeah, that's true. They could always option him to the Cleveland Guardians. They could use a little help.
Oh man, right now I said to another friend of mine last night that the Indians have been a little bipolar So they swept the Pirates. They took 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and then took that first game against Boston. You thought like they've turned things around. And then Sunday and last night, Sunday against the Red Sox and last night against the Twins of all teams, the Indians, the Guardians, the Tribe were shellacked. I mean, the last 2 games just beat up. So hopefully things turn around here pretty quickly, because I've not looked at the Tigers, but I'm sure they've been playing well, and that just builds more of a lead in the division for them. Minnesota, as well, has won something like 6 of their 7 last games. So despite their very poor start, they've kind of turned things around and are getting hot. And so the Tribe needs to do something here. And you kind of see on both sides, starting pitching, pitching in general, the last 2 games, not good. But you can't win if you don't score runs either. And they haven't scored too many runs either.
Hey, staying in Cleveland, Father, the Cavaliers, my goodness, won last night, closed out the season, swept a Miami Heat by 55 points. I mean, just dominant.
Yeah, they left no doubt, that's for sure. I think the halftime score was 77-33, so they had already doubled up Miami at that point. And I saw the stat that this is the first playoff series that the Cavaliers have swept another team without LeBron James.
Oh, wow. Well,
and the first time the Cavs without LeBron James have swept a team in the playoffs.
And I'll say this: I've been watching the NBA. I started watching last year. I watched this year. I've been watching all the playoff games, and I will tell you, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I will tell you, the Cavs look good. They could take this thing. They look as good as anybody out there, if not a little bit better than anybody else out there.
Yeah, I've not watched enough of them, but certainly they're playing well. I think the Cavs really in this series dominated, especially the last 2 games. Just absolutely took control. You do kind of wonder, did Miami in some way just quit? But if the Cavs keep playing like this, they absolutely have a shot. We know Boston's going to be tough in the East.
Right.
And then we just look out west, and Dave, I know you're really upset by this, but the Lakers being down 3-1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves probably just has you up at night weeping, I'm sure.
Well, actually, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't like James, but since he got there, I've been actually pulling for the Lakers. But they're going to get beaten. So, but it's going to be tough. Look, that Celtics Cavaliers matchup eventually. That's going to be the matchup. That decides the East. You would assume. So, can't wait for that one.
Oh yeah, that really should be a great matchup. So, but you got to win your next series too.
Yeah, got to get there. Got to get there. But a whole lot going on in the world of sports. Of course, all of our local teams starting as well. We got out to see the Mud Hens. They're looking good this year. So, as this weather comes in, it just makes you more kind of itching at getting out there and watching some of these games in person.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are getting into baseball weather more and more. So whether it's the Mud Hens, whether it's going up to Detroit, I don't do that very often, or over to Cleveland to see the Tribe. This is what we wait all winter for, is this kind of weather and enjoying things live and in person. So should be a great summer.
That's right. Forget about Groundhog Day. We look forward to, baseball's opening day. And to see the Tigers do so well at the start is pretty exciting, too. Father Matt Frisbee, always a pleasure.
Look forward to that. I don't.
Thanks, Father. And look, the college football portal closed, so we know who we have at this point. So that's a good thing.
All right, thanks, Father.
Like I kept everyone.
Yeah.
God bless.
Thank you. Take care. All right, morning offering part 2 coming up in our 8 o'clock hour.
Part 2.
Yes, we are going to be visiting with Teresa Tomeo, a little vitamin T this morning.
Can't wait for that.
Coming your way. And, of course, Peter Range. Some Say Yes to Life, some pro-life news coming up. Pat Odie Murray will be joining us in